Hi, this is Samia from Henna Fixation with your dose of Henna Fix, and today I want to talk about safety. You know, when we're doing events outside, or even especially, I guess, I don't know, they both are equally risky. When you have somebody coming into your house to do henna, I think safety is really, really important, and we need to consider that because the events at night, they can go until 1 or 2 in the morning. And or you know, you're going to your car to gather your car, and then you're loading up the car, and then you have like a big cash box in your hand because you carry cash for business. So actually, I mean, a lot of factors can come into play when it comes to taking henna on a business side, and safety is something that I think we should consider. So I'm not an expert on this by any means, but these are just some things that make me feel a little bit more secure. And if I don't have these things, I have felt that I feel a little bit like shaky. So I want to share some of those things with you. So maybe this will help you feel a little bit more safe when you are doing henna, so that you can actually do henna, have a good time, and not have to worry if somebody is going to murder you. So when I'm doing henna at home, I have this deal in which everybody has to pay in advance. So I have a booking fee, and I don't play around with that. The booking fee is never waived. I never waive it. So if they're going to book henna with me, they have to pay the booking fee. So that booking fee is paid online. I send them an invoice, it's already done. And in that way, I have it written down in my planner. So, you know, when it's gonna happen, who that person is. And that way, if any funky stuff is gonna go down, at least there's a paper trail and people can be tracked down in that way, if you know what I mean. So I do like to do that. And then we have a little bit of camera inside our house, which is like a little camera that's meant for pets. So and then there's also another camera when you're entering, which is so anybody who comes in and goes, that is recorded on those cameras. And that has been really nice as well, so to keep track of what's going on, and just to, you know, to have as much information as you can that is allowed to have. There's nothing wrong with that kind of information. So as to go back on the booking fees, I mean, as a person, as a business owner, I don't have access to anything on that business, on that card, whatever the person is using to pay. I don't have any access to that. But if something was to go down, you know, law enforcement or whoever it is, they might be able to get access to that information to find out if there's some creepo who came into our house, you know. So basically, having a lot of information, as much information as you can have. That booking fee also tends to keep the people who don't take you seriously away. So you know that if they're coming, this is for henna, like if you're not willing to pay that I'm not going to take you seriously, you know. Unfortunately, you got to do what you got to do. So this is the way I like to do it. To sum it up, I have a booking fee system going on, in which they pay with the card online, which is trackable, and then I have camera set up inside, which really does help. When it comes to doing events outside, I think that's a little bit risky, right? So okay, so if I'm hired to do an event at someone else's house or the venue, so I have a little contract. When they pay for it, they get the contract, so they know what it is that they're expecting from me and I'm expecting from them. And one thing I've written down in there is that if at any time the henna artist feels insecure, if they feel like their safety is a concern, then they're just gonna leave, and or they won't show up to begin with. You know, if I'm driving up and there's some crazy stuff happening in that event, which has never happened, but let's say there is, then I'm just going to leave and not be present at the event, and I will not be held, and I don't have to return anything as far as money is concerned, because everything is paid beforehand. I don't like to, oh, let's talk about that later. I'll jump to that later. But when it comes to that, you know, I have it written down, it's done. So if you have an environment that's not safe for me, I'm going to back out and I'm not going to go there. And secondly, I want to mention that when a person is wanting me to come to a certain venue, of course, I ask them for the address where that is going to be, and I Google map it. You know, I want to see that area, and my husband knows the areas pretty well. And so, you know, if I don't feel comfortable going to that area, I will say, you know, I'm not available at this date or whatever. Like, you know, I will make an excuse not to go there. I don't think my safety should be, or, you know, my security or my whatever, I feel safe, it should not be negotiable. So if I'm not able to, if I don't feel safe going to a certain place, if I don't feel safe while I'm there, I'm just gonna leave, because I think, you know, that's totally cool. I don't have any issue with that. Bring it up, you know, I can handle it. Another cause to concern, especially if it is at another venue where I'm being hired for a party, I like to do everything beforehand. I'm not going to be taking any payment on that day. If they want to give tips, I really don't expect tips. I expect 0 tips. Sometimes I don't know why people are so nice to give you tips, and I'm really grateful for that. But I don't expect it. But as far as paying for the event, I expect the full payment to be done and paid for 2 business days before the event. There's only one instance where a person insisted that she wanted to pay cash, and I don't really like that. I do like to do things online, but she was cool. She did pay cash, and it was all right. She came to my home and she paid it here, which is all right. You know, I don't really prefer that, but I did because she really was insistent on it. So I mean, I've made that exception before, but if I'm going to the event, I'm not going to be hunting down, you know, the owner who's like, or the person in charge, and be like, oh, can you pay me now because I have to go? None of that. Everything's already done for. I don't have to deal with cash. I don't have to deal with any of it. So when I go there, what I'm only taking with me is henna. That's it. I'm not taking any cash with me. I'm not taking any special credit cards with me. Just basic stuff. So I don't, you know, nothing is risky at that time. So that really does help me feel a little bit more secure. And lastly, when it comes to big events like community events, public events, that is the biggest part because you're going over there to set up. Sometimes you go there the day before to set up, and you know, you're probably setting up at nighttime, and then when it's takedown time, it normally is really late at night. So for that, I really do recommend not staying. What I like to do is have somebody with me. I've done an event by myself in which I had to leave at night by myself, and there was a lot of drinking going on in that specific. I mean, I just don't feel safe in that environment, and it was kind of weird, but I did it, and that's cool. I did, but I didn't really like it. So I recommend having somebody. Maybe you can have a friend or something that can come by. If you're by yourself, you don't have a booth assistant, maybe you can have a friend or something that can come by and be like, you know, help you break down, even just to chill out while you do the work. I think that would be pretty cool and beneficial. But again, I've said it multiple times, I recommend getting booth assistance. I recommend that if you can, for that concern, so you're never alone by yourself, for somebody to hold down the fort if you have to go to the bathroom, because that happens. Or you can take a little break, and then for safety concerns, so you're not alone by yourself and they're with you for setup and breakdown, which really does help out. I think these are the precautions I take. These are some things that I do, and that has been working out well for me. I'm still here, so it's good. So far, I'm fortunate. We live in a pretty cool place where things like that don't happen, but safety is something that is on the back of our minds, and sometimes more than others. So just what I would recommend for you is to do what you feel safe. If you don't feel safe doing it, cancel the appointment, tell them you apologize, refund the money, or do whatever it is you have to do, just to get yourself out of the situation in the most dignified manner as possible. I hope this video was useful for you. I will see you next time. Until then, henna on.